Hello everyone, welcome to the Campfire podcast. This evening I'm joined by the lovely co-host Ben, of course.
Hello.
Say hello. Good boy. And today we have two wonderful guests to join us. The amazing man himself and the amazing second man. Introduce yourselves.
So, I'm AmazeMan. I script a boat that doesn't boat very well.
And I'm Inyo, and I built a boat that doesn't boat very well.
That never gets old. That will never get old. That is actually the best intro I've ever heard in my life.
I had to restrain myself from laughing again.
No, laughter is completely fine in this context, especially. That just sounds
It's
very morbid.
a great icebreaker.
Yes, laughter is very good. Laughter is good. But
Can we install a sitcom button that would just put sitcom laughter every single time someone says like a really awful joke?
Have you guys seen those videos of those sitcoms where they remove the laughter track and it's just cringe?
Yeah, I was
oh
about
my
to
god, that's amazing. They're so awkward. They feel dead.
mention- Hey guys, Bazinga.
Oh no, go away.
Boo!
It just adds like an awkward atmosphere if you remove the laughter.
Always. It's always awkward. I find that the best sitcoms are sitcoms that can exist and still be funny without a laugh track.
So, basic comedy.
I guess.
Just any comedy.
Yeah, I mean, depends on... If you're going by the American comedy genre, there isn't very much fun there.
Now, especially since this whole year's been a great joke to us.
You just go into America and there's just a massive sign that says "No fun allowed."
To be fair, there's only a few like American TV shows or movies that I've found incredibly funny. A lot of the most funniest shows I've ever seen are from either British people or anyone else really. The Office was good. The Office was very good. That was a very good series.
Which one? The American one or the British?
The American one, the original. Though the British one was decent as well.
The American one is so much better than the
The British one was good as well, but this is one of those situations where the American one is actually better somehow.
I tried watching the British one, and it was
But on
like the
the-
first episode, and I didn't really want to like watch it.
On the subject of comedy, do any of you know any knock-knock joke?
Not necessarily. What about you?
I got one, but I'm waiting for one of you guys to tell me one at least.
Okay, Ben, you're British. Come on, time for your humor.
I can't really think of a knock-knock joke.
Make one.
Like, what? You can't just put me on the spot.
Yes, I can.
Okay, you get 5 seconds.
Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, make us laugh, Ben. Come on. Chop.
I genuinely forgot how a knock-knock joke went for a
All
second.
you have to do is just say knock knock.
Yeah. Alright. Knock knock.
Who's there? Wait, what? No, you're supposed to ask who's there.
You didn't even have to have one.
Got him.
Got him.
God damn it.
Oh, the suspense for that is great.
Okay, now I get what okay, fair enough. That's what I want. Okay. Yeah, fine, sure. Why not? But, tell us, before we started this, you started telling me a story about how content deleted plays.
Oh, right. So
Yes.
content deleted joke.
Yes.
In the history of the Titanic game on Roblox, it used to be called Survive a Sinking Ship in 2009 and part of 2010 because at the moment Titanic wasn't actually available to be made into a game on Roblox. So what happened was a bunch of people made ships that looked like Titanic, but they named it Survive a Sinking Ship or Sinking Ship or whatever. So I was one of those people that had Survive a Sinking Ship. And then they lifted the rule, and so I renamed it to Roblox Titanic. But before that, it would have been content deleted if you named it Titanic.
Fair enough.
I don't
Fair
think very
enough.
many people know that, so that's how it was back in 2009 for a little bit.
I wasn't around in 2009. I joined in early 2011. Pretty much when. I don't know if I can call 2011 the year where things came up, because when I look at most of my friends' profile, it seems to be like 2011 is kind of like the median year where most of my friends have joined. It's kind of like, I wouldn't call it golden years, but I'd kind of say when you just most
It's really
most people under.
It's really interesting to me seeing the IDs of different users. For example, Inyo22 is around 9 million on the IDs. I'm around 1.1 million. So 1.1 million was around 2008, September 2008. And then Taylor joined as 9 million in 2011. I don't know exactly what month though. So that's cool. February 2011 was around 9 million users. And I don't even know how many users there are today. Does anyone else know?
There's billion.
No, it's been implied that it's way above 400 million. There's no certain number, but like a few years ago, Roblox published a thing where it said that there is 100 million registered users, and
wasn't everyone like trying to bot like the 100 millionth account?
I don't know. No, I can believe that Roblox has at least 500 million users by now. Like,
so Molegul, I just saw this article. It says Roblox reaches 100 million monthly active users August 2nd of 2019. So that's monthly active. So the entire catalog of users must be much bigger than 100 million for sure.
Yeah.
I would say it would have been a billion, but I'm not sure if it's that high yet. Because I remember there was like a massive milestone, but I don't remember if it was 100 million or a billion. I could try going on user ID. Let me see if user ID a billion exists.
Another thing
We're
I really
doing
like
some
to do is you go into...
We're doing some hardcore research right now.
Yeah, we're doing some...
User ID a billion does exist.
If you look at...
So there is more than a billion users.
If you look at Google Trends, that's another really cool thing to do. Just look at Google Trends and search Roblox, and then you can go find your join month date, and you can say out of what percentage of the total is. So like Taylor is February 2011. That'd be about 8% of what Roblox is today.
My first account was in April 2011, and my current account was November 2011.
So that's around like 8 or 9% of what Roblox is today. September 2008 is 3% of what Roblox is today. And just last year, it was like what Roblox is 40% as it is today. And this is based off of some trended graph I see. I think with
I see the graph, and like just across the end, it has a massive spike going up.
Yeah, it's like the quarantine. Everyone's playing Roblox.
And that's why Roblox keeps dying, because it just can't handle the amount of members.
Is pretty into it.
The server's on fire. How about yours? That's the way I like it, and I never get bored.
Hey now, you're a dev star.
Now we need to search up the trends of quote-unquote free Robux. Actually, let me do that right now.
Why are you doing this? How did we get here? Why?
Oh god, it also has a spike near the end.
Of course there is.
It kind of like spikes up in July 2019, then goes down again, and then goes all the way back up.
Google Trends. Will to live.
I think it's gonna be lower than Roblox. It's no.
Well, it seems to be up and down, you know, kind of curvy.
Just flatlined.
But I wish that you know, like, it's kind of sad that all of this unprecedented growth in Roblox is happening at the same time as a massive pandemic. I mean, everybody...
I mean, but what better time to play a Roblox game?
Yeah, and if you don't stay inside and play Roblox, you'll end up a box if you go outside.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Roblox has always been a great place to be when you're bored. So, quarantine, you can't go outside, you can't go to school, you can't go to work, you literally can't do anything. So, screw it, why not play Roblox?
I feel it's definitely risen in popularity in terms of like how other people view it, not like how many people are on the actual site, because back in 2013, probably, if I said to my friends I played Roblox, I'd probably get bullied.
Yeah, I mean,
But now,
to be fair,
most of my friends nowadays like have at least played it once, and they're like, it's okay.
yeah, to be fair, it's kind of amazing to see how far Roblox has come. Like, I always believed that it was going to become big. Like, it had, like, all of the things that people really wanted. The freedom to create whatever you want, the freedom to play with your friends, the freedom to show your creations to your friends. Like, all of these really good selling points. That was always going to make Roblox big. But if...
And you want to know the best part?
Yes? Yes, it's free. That's the biggest selling point. And, like, it was clear that it was always going to be big. But I don't think anyone had an idea that it would become this big. Like, if you had told me years ago that Roblox is going to have close to 1 billion users in the upcoming years and give developers thousands upon tens of thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars, that I wouldn't have believed it. That's kind of amazing. It's unbelievable.
It's really a remarkable thing. Roblox there can be so many different games hosted on Roblox, and it's gonna fill every single niche that you can possibly imagine. That's obviously age appropriate. So it's gonna just keep growing as long as there's developers making new, like, adding new ingenuity to the platform and making.
Plus, even regular YouTubers or big YouTubers that never even heard of Roblox, such as Knowledge Hub, are recently just opening up and exploring Roblox, which they would never touch.
Yeah, Knowledge Hub did a video on Roblox the other day.
It is ever increasing descent.
And I mean, Markiplier just recently played Roblox just a year or two ago, which was another amazing moment. I mean, even PewDiePie played Roblox. Like, those are massive YouTubers that none of us ever assumed would actually play Roblox, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm really excited if there's a future where there's an AI recommended sort for these YouTubers, like, you know, based on age and previous play sessions, so that they can actually find games that they might be interested in, and then they can actually just post about those games instead of playing those generic recommended games like the colorful obbies or whatever, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like those are being recommended to everybody, whereas maybe only a certain segment wants to see those.
Keep in mind, there are games that can really show you that what Roblox is capable of.
Yeah, there is so many amazing games that wouldn't necessarily appeal to kids, but have such immense potential. They show what Roblox could be to such an extreme extent that they should be played, they should be seen, they should be explored. But due to how Roblox has structured its recommended sort and everything on the front page, really, is kind of against that. I mean, sure, they have tried to have the featured system where they feature games, and they have tried to push out more different games for different demographics. But I feel like if Roblox was to continue, there would definitely have to be some kind of algorithm or some kind of way to differentiate between demographics. Like, these games are for 13-year-olds, and these games are for adults, and just to make a difference between the two, so that both demographics have something to play.
And that doesn't mean that games can only be for 13 plus or only for kids. It just means that
it's just to organize it.
These are the kids that play this game more often. Like, there's bigger amounts of 9-10-year-olds that play this game than 13 plus. So advertise more to those demographics. It just kind of makes sense. And YouTube does a great job of their recommended algorithm. So I have a really good hope for the future of Roblox's recommended and all of their algorithms. It's just going to take some time. And it's a matter of how many developers can support themselves within the waiting period before Roblox really starts to be able to host very, very niche games and have those creators make a living off of that due to the pure amount of just however there's so many different types of people that play Roblox, and this you just need this sort to give all of these players funneled into the games they want to see rather than the one size fits all games page.
Yeah. Yeah, Roblox is definitely it's a social platform, and that's what makes it so huge. It's the fact it's a social platform that allows you to do anything. So,
I really like the events Roblox has as well. For example, the egg hunt. This year it was. I don't really know what to think of the egg hunt this year.
I mean, that was a count last year as well. Roblox has sadly taken a step backwards from making how do I put this, a proper egg hunt, or more so a egg hunt of the like of what it used to be.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to.
Yeah, sorry.
We're gonna have to look into that a bit more because there's been a lot of expectations based on previous egg hunts, and Roblox seems to be going in more of a direction of having developers create their own events in the egg hunt. And of course, a lot of players don't like that, and a lot of players in different communities are then, quote, forced to go into games they may not like, and that's why there's a bunch of dislikes to all the egg hunt games. So I think it's kind of a cool thing actually, and I had one of the Virtual Valley games was in it actually, the Britannic egg, and so shout out to Zazace for making the egg hunt mission for that game, and so basically there's all these players that are going into the egg hunt that might not like the game that they're playing, so that's why a lot of the egg hunt gets a lot of negativity nowadays, and they're called dev hunts. I think it's great. It's great for the developers who want to show off their games to new audiences, but at the same time, those new audiences are very hostile because it's linked up with an old event that had to do with a one place where the egg hunt is, and it's like the 2018 egg hunt. People have huge expectations because of that, so that's good on Team 15 for making the best egg hunt that Roblox has seen in many.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like a lot of the reason why people play I hate the egg hunt now is because the 2018 egg hunt, in a way, set a new standard for what it is, for what to expect when you hear the words egg hunt. And then it's very hard to make something like what egg hunt is now in any way compete with the 2018 one, which just inherently makes players dislike it. It's like you said, it's expectations that they're expecting something like that, but what they get instead is, well, not that. And so even if they pull off a really amazing egg hunt, even if some developers make really fun tasks to get the egg, they're still going to compare it to the 2018 egg hunt, and that is a very difficult thing to beat, because it was genuinely 2018 egg hunt was not just an egg hunt game, in my opinion, it was its own game as well. It was brilliantly made.
Egg hunts have definitely stepped up though, because back in 2011 when I did my first egg hunt, one of the first servers I went in on the egg hunt was hacked, which meant everyone was just in this big box in the middle of nowhere, and there was just all the eggs just flying around. And if you just stood there for like 5 minutes, you would have just got the eggs, and there was just no effort at all. I'm not sure if it still applies today, if there's any hack servers on the lines of being in a box and eggs just going everywhere. Well, not this year because they were all different places, but I'm just...
There was Tiny Tanks where if you couldn't join on the computer... And
oh yeah, the mobile edition, it just gave you the egg. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter and I was like, oh, no way is that real. And I launched up my phone and I'm just like, oh, cheers for the free egg.
The thing is, I kind of understand, right? The game was not optimized for mobile, obviously. So they rushed in a solution to that to make it possible for mobile players to get the egg. But, I mean, that just kind of feels like an issue that was brought upon themselves. Like, I understand that you wanted your game to be a part of the egg hunt, but at the same time, your game was not optimized already
Right.
for different consoles
and some
devices.
Yeah, and some games didn't have mobile access anyway, and they didn't let mobile players join in for free to get it. So it's kind of just a hit or miss thing. So
It was a good thing in
the
the
entire
bad way,
thing with
pretty much.
the entire thing with the egg hunts going in the future, possibly if they keep doing the dev hunts, is the developers have to they have to put the effort that they're comfortable putting into it, and they have to make their own fans happy. Like, that's the thing that I'll go after, because I wanted to have the ship games Titanic and Britannic in the egg hunt because we got a Roblox officially created hat out of it, and I wanted our communities to be able to have those egg hats because I think that's really cool. So first and foremost, we did it for our own communities, and then after that, all of these other communities, they join in. They're like, oh, the Britannic one was super boring. It's a walking simulator. It's like, okay, I don't really care. I just wanted to give these Britannic eggs to the fans that wanted them. And
it's more for the people who actually play
it's more
that will actually enjoy getting the
right.
egg.
So it's an opportunity for a cool hat to be attached to your game, and I think that's the main reason why I wanted the Titanic and the Britannic to be in the egg hunts. Titanic was in the egg hunt in 2019, and then Britannic was in the egg hunt in 2020, and so I'm good now. Like, we got our games attached to an official hat, and that's what matters to me.
So how did the egg hunt process actually work? Like,
Can you talk about that, or are you going to get,
if you
or
want
are
to
you
talk
gonna get
about
sued if you mention?
Well,
A bunny walks through the door with the Roblox logo.
I think I could talk about it a little bit. There's a post on the developer forums a few months, like 6 months or so before the egg hunt, and you apply your game to it, and then you just wait to see if you get selected, and then you get invited to a secret thing where you can't say anything about it, and then
just gonna get your door knocked down just by, like, again, like you said, someone.
The Roblox Easter Bunny just knocks your door down, takes you into
Something's
a
coming to my
van,
door
and
now.
drives into an undisclosed location.
First
Takes your
rule.
computer away.
First rule of egg hunt: you don't talk about egg hunt.
I know that is a good movie reference. I'll
Right.
give you that.
So I mean, as evidenced by some of the egg hunts and the quality difference, developers have control over their own egg hunt. So yeah, I think it's a cool thing that of course, as with Roblox itself, there's a wide range in quality of all of the games within the egg hunt, but it's mostly high quality, I would say. You at least have these missions working, with the exception of maybe the test day, which is a very messy thing that has happened for 2 years in a row, but there's not really much way around it, really. So people just get so antsy about the egg hunt starting that they see that it has started 1 day early, and that's because it's like the testing day. And then what happens with that is all these YouTubers get expectations, and then they're trying to show off eggs first to be the first YouTuber so they get the most views or whatever. So it's just, all of it is expectations.
And inadvertently poisoning the well.
We can't really say to players just like, don't have any expectations, because obviously it's a hyped up event, a once in a year thing. But it's, happiness is expectations minus reality.
And going to what you said about YouTubers, they obviously have a massive influence as well. So if they think something's bad, then their audience is probably going to think it's bad as well.
If a YouTuber told you to go jump off a cliff, would you do it?
Some will.
Most members say yes.
Some will. So the thing about YouTube is, the thing about YouTube is very much how it's always been for people that are in stardom, right? I expect that one of you has gotten emails before like, oh my god, your game is so amazing, you're my favorite developer, and so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure you have gotten these kinds of emails or messages at some point.
Yeah, we have Roblox messages that say that. We have Roblox messages that say, open up this old game you had. We have Roblox messages that say, add this stuff to Titanic, add this stuff to Britannic, or something in your Titanic game is inaccurate. Something in your Britannic game is inaccurate.
The whole can of
We
worms.
have and the VVG Roblox Instagram, and people on there can DM me. Currently, I run it, but in the future, I'm planning on having like multiple people being in the account, so like player support and I want our developers to be able to post on it if they want to. So we get messages in there, and I try to answer all of the messages in Instagram. I think it's a really easy app to answer messages in compared to Roblox, for example, and compared to Twitter. I just like Instagram more for answering fan messages, and I love Instagram's algorithm because it really rewards quality posting, and Twitter's algorithm kind of relies on replies, but you get replies by more negative things than positive things in most cases. And I'm sure, Molegul, that you're aware of that from one of your tweets last year.
Twitter is a wild place.
You don't kick the Twitter hive mind. Don't kick.
Would you like to talk about that specific event?
I have to preface that by which tweet you're referring to, because I've had 2 tweets that have blown up and gotten me into a lot of heated situations.
Show us on your brain where the Twitter website hurt you.
Yeah, so it's this entire thing where I think no one is going to go on Instagram. Well, I mean, some people might, but like no one's really going to go on Instagram and start hating on certain accounts. But on Twitter, it's perfectly okay because it's just the expectations of Twitter is so low compared to Instagram.
I honestly don't think it's that. I feel like Instagram and Twitter have one major issue. One major difference is the fact that Twitter is more accessible. Like, when you go on Instagram, you're usually on your phone. Or maybe on your PC, but you're mostly on your phone. But with Twitter, a lot of people have it open on their PC. So the amount of time that people spend on Twitter on a normal basis is probably higher than on Instagram. So
I try to use Twitter on my phone
now
and then.
Yeah.
As I jokingly call as Twitter on the
shitter.
Yeah.
I watched an old podcast. You can say shitter on this.
Cool. I wasn't sure of whether we could.
You can say specific. I'm not gonna limit you in what you say that
cool.
much. You can curse if you want. That's fine.
So I'm trying to make a tweet, and my thumbs are big, my phone is small, and it's always a pain in the butt, and I make so many a typo trying to tweet from my phone. And one day, and keep in mind, this was a pinned tweet I had for many years. It was a snippet of a chat from in-game with Space K, another user, a friend of mine, and it said, Inyo, you are not, if the quote goes as like, Inyo, you are not...
A testament to man's arrogance or something?
Yeah, something like that. The tweet's long gone, because I'm getting to the point is that, I'm trying to tweet something, and I accidentally deleted my pinned tweet of so many years just trying to tweet. And the tweet said, Inyo, you're not just Phoenix, you are the personification of man's arrogance.
Yeah, I remember that tweet. Yeah, you have another tweet right now where you're in a train simulation game on Roblox.
My favorite thing to do is just like go into train games or military group games and just break everything as much as I can. I have a long list of military training group games I've been banned from because I found ways around their invisible wall.
Well, while large trains are fun, this is not the type of place to have such fun. 3 to 4 carts or cars is recommended. And then you have Inyo, who has like 30 cars on his train.
On like military games or like some like military groups, I do like how seriously and how dedicated they play the role of like whatever rank. Yeah, because everyone had that one time when they were in like fear or something, that like kind of phase when
the
everyone
mobile
was in the
blockers
military
or the Sonic the X Hedgehog XXX.
Oh my god, I still remember those times. To be fair, I always wanted to create a genre on Roblox. Like I don't know if you know what a genre is, but I've always wanted to make a group dedicated to a specific thing, like Lord of the Rings, and then build a massive replicas of Lord of the Rings places, and then just have like people be elves and what have you, and just have fun. I've always wanted to make a genre or something. That's always appealed to me more than just war groups.
I always kind of want to make eventually like a free-for-all game where it's just like you can build whatever you want in this
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Kind of in the vein of Rust or Minecraft, but in Roblox, but just something along those lines where it's just total anarchy for everyone involved.
That is a good master plan. I do commend that. I shall use Roblox to take over Roblox and then the world!
Have you seen what some people can create in Bloxburg? It's insane. It's like they're making
it
Roblox
is.
in Roblox, just like you guys are saying.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane, some of the things where people make on Bloxburg. It's actually kind of inspiring that just random person that goes into Bloxburg creates like a massive freaking mansion that looks absolutely magnificent in a few hours. It's like, right, okay, well, okay then, sure, yeah, okay.
I have spent an unholy amount of time in whatever floats your boat.
Oh, whatever floats your boat is an amazing game.
I'm still trying to work up to the level where I get the darn balloons, I can make flying machines. I don't think I'm ever gonna...
Someday.
It's so cool.
But-
Do you think in whatever floats your boat, how Quinty does it is he will rise the entire world so that the water lowers, and vice versa?
Yeah, I think
If you
so.
pay it, I remember back in the day before he fixed it, I was able to glitch the game by building an absurdly big boat. I think this was before he had the money system in it. I can't really remember, but I managed to build around the spawn point and just camp just like that. And literally, because the whole world would move because it's just a big chunk of Roblox terrain water underneath. It's just lower the whole map in there. It was just so funny just breaking the game that way.
Things about Roblox is how clever developers can be with the systems they create, and how in Roblox it's easier to keep huge models stationary than to actually move them.
Like boat that shouldn't boat.
Yeah, so we have this huge boat that needs to sink, and it also needs to sail, and it also needs to have an iceberg pass through it, or pass by the iceberg. So what we do is we move the iceberg instead. And it's funny because many years of people have been very confused by what actually is happening, and it's like, oh, I thought it was obvious. The iceberg is what's moving.
But it's cool if you stand on the iceberg and.
Yeah, and with our 2.0 update, which went out on June 30th, 2018, we have the momentum system. So if you go off of the ship, then you're going to be carried away by the ship's wake. So.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We actually added a badge for that recently. Overboard.
And also for Britannic when at the point it's sinking.
Oh yeah, in Britannic, the entire islands that are symbolizing the Greek islands, like the island of Kia in the Aegean Sea. That entire model is basically moving and rotating around a little bit, simulating the ship actually trying to turn towards the closest island. While it was still sailing, they were trying to beach the island. They were trying to beach the ship onto the island.
The island will have so many people.
And so what ended up happening was they had portholes opened on the Britannic that morning, and it actually flooded the ship quicker because it was going into the water. The ship was still moving.
Not only that, the watertight doors were.
So everything went wrong with that, and it sank in 56 minutes. Was it?
I think it was an hour or something. It was like half the time of Titanic.
It was very, very quick compared to.
But keep in mind, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Watertight doors jammed open, porthole.
I'm actually curious, as if we're on this topic, why did you pick Titanic to make your first game revolve around?
It's a bit of an obsession.
so I'll take care of this for a while. So I joined September of 2008, and then I immediately started creating a neighborhood. Actually, it goes a little bit deeper than this. My brother showed me Roblox from his friend who showed it to him, Soldier Eva, on Roblox. He's gone on and off of it, so... but basically, I started trying to create something in what was called build mode at the time. It wasn't studio itself, it was this real-time build mode, so your character was in there, but also studio was in there. It's kind of like if you tried to, in modern day studio, if you tried to build with Play Solo. So I was building a pyramid with this, and I was getting to the very, very top, and something went wrong, and I collapsed the entire pyramid. And this is in summer of 2008. And I rage quit so hard. I was like, this platform is like, I didn't use the word platform. I was just like, this is so stupid. Why am I gonna be doing this? So I quit for a few months. But before I quit, I saw this sinking ship game on the site, and it was basically just one deck. It was Titanic colored, so I don't know if it was supposed to be the Titanic, but you know, it was in my memory, it was Titanic colored. There was 4 funnels, so Titanic basically. And there was one deck, and it sank really, really quickly, and then that was it. And just people would spawn on top of the ship, jump down, and then over and over again. So I didn't really do anything with that until later in 2009. But I created multiple games before Titanic that they got a few visits, but none of them like got Titanic level, obviously. And so what happened was, one of them was this, brick battle war game that I wanted to make, where it was like this jungle crossfire place. And then another one was like a desert war zone. And then where there was like 2 buildings opposing sides and a bridge. And then, so I was getting into building at the time. And I think I made a few other games. Like there was a zombie game I made where there's a city with decals on the buildings, and one player was the zombie or something, and they infected everybody. And that was around the time when swine flu came out, so that was very freaky.
Of course, can't be without a pandemic. Nothing's without a pandemic. Continue.
Anyone else remember the Roblox game in Deception Infection?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. And then I made a few other, like an alien Terminator game. I was just making these 2009 quality games at the time. They took probably 2 weeks. So it was just, and then I was just trying to like add on to them and see if people would play them. And they were probably getting 5,000 to 20,000 plays, which was actually pretty cool for the time, And then I went to Branson, Missouri in summer of 2009. I think it was August. Before that, the last one I made was a racing game. I was really into Burnout Revenge and Burnout 3 as a kid, so I liked those car racing games. So I was trying to make one. Yeah, definitely. And I was trying to make one, but I had these oversized cars. And then when I was going into this Titanic museum in Branson, Missouri, it reinvigorated my obsession with Titanic, which I had when I was about 8 to 11 years old. And I'm 14 at the time here when I started making Titanic. And I just took the car and I made the Titanic based off of that car scale. And so it was a very huge overscaled Titanic. And it looked very, very 2009, and to say the least. And
well, it was early years, so that's excused.
It was the early years, and of course we've seen a lot of improvement from my scripting, and then getting Inyo22 on the team. The game has seen insurmountable improvements, and so that's really part of our pride and joy. So then this Titanic thing came out, but it was called Titanic Simulation for a little bit. But then the Titanic rule was there, so it was called Survive a Sinking Ship for a little bit as well. And then in 2010, there were 2 other Titanic games that were also out. One of them was by Mastermind 140, and I think there was another one by Wurton34 who's now a banned account. I don't know what happened, but they
Probably said something bad, and that's it.
who knows. But there were other Titanic games that were being played as well. So I just wanted to make the best one. So I made cool badges and made cool features, and it somehow rose above all the other ones. And then it became what it is today, where in 2015, Taylor was able to start making what we call now the 1.0 ship, which was basically an overscaled 2.0. Mm-hmm. And because I thought that the overscaledness of the ship had something to do with how popular it was, because it seemed really grand, so people wanted to stay on it. So I had these really weird ideas of why it was popular. But over time, we've evolved, and we understand a lot more of what makes the game how it is and why people want to play it. So once we did a 2.0 update in 2018, it really accelerated everything for us, and we're making new games now at the time. So we're really excited about it. New intense simulation games, disasters. Ooh, that was a long wind.
That is quite the origin story for a game that has existed since, let's say, the early years of Roblox. Truly an OG game, if you will.
You kind of see the evolution of Roblox in the game itself.
Yeah, I feel like that game is a part of history as much as it is based on history.
Whoa,
Mind blown.
that's deep.
But Inyo, what about you? How did you get started? How did you actually end up meeting Mr. Amazeman here himself, and how did you get into building and everything?
Roblox. It's plain and simple, the short of it, but...
Well, you don't have to do short of it. This is a long-form podcast. Go in detail.
Okay.
You are requested to write a novel on absolutely every single detail, and that is what I need.
All right.
That is the only way to satisfy me.
I will see you in 20 years then.
Oh, okay. It's a date then.
Anyways. But in all seriousness, I think my obsession with Titanic, like most others, probably started with the 97 movie, and I would just get books on it, read about it, and I kind of was more obsessed about it. And then roughly around 2010, I heard about Roblox. Kind of was watching YouTube videos by R92. Really loved those videos. I was like, oh, I want to join Roblox, but I was a naive little kid at the time, and I keep thinking about, oh, what if Roblox gives me a virus on my computer?
Oh.
I mean, Twitter has given me a virus. It's called depression, but aside from that...
Oh, when I first heard about Roblox, it was through this other web game. I don't remember what it was because it was ages ago. And I saw Roblox as like an advertisement. It looked so legit, but the advertisements looked so fishy at the same time. I didn't know if I was also going to get a virus.
Oh boy. Amaze just brought up on the screen one of the earliest messages we put together.
Yeah, so it says December 11th, 2010.
Alright. I meant to keep up the good building in Roblox.
Oh, no, it's right.
Oh, the bottom one, bottom one. Like it? It's a link to an old boat I made a long time ago. We'll never even finish it. Sounds like my life. Like, I've been working on for some time, still unfinished. I took a week-long break from it. It's like the Titanic, but has a full interior, boiler rooms, engine rooms, everything.
So then I wrote back, lol, you're better at building ships than I am. I just have the ship that has the low detail, but looks awesome while it sinks. P. Stick out tongue.
Well, and I replied, well, maybe it's in my blood. My uncle was a boilermaker and built stuff. My grandpa was a boilermaker and built stuff. And XD LOL.
So then I say, awesome. Awesome. Keep it up.
Maybe, but me, I don't know. Boilermakers haven't been out of work talking about some family crap that I pretty much didn't follow.
Yeah, like you say, I don't think I'll follow the family lineage. And I was like, XD. I meant keep up the good building in Roblox, even though it would be important to keep that up too if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So basically, I think we predicted what was going to happen. So Taylor kept up his building on Roblox, and I kept up the scripting there. And that was 2010, so we've pretty much been in contact ever since 2010.
And now we're basically under the
I mean,
same dev house,
yeah.
just working on games and stuff.
I mean, we did our own things too for a while. Like we had like of course in 2010 I was in high school and I graduated in 2013, and then I went to college for 4.5 years. So I was out of college December of 2017, and then Taylor.
Well, similarly, I graduated high school in 2013, went to college for a couple years, just got an Associates of Applied Sciences, and I went to work on a railroad.
Oh, you worked on a railroad.
As you would call over the pond, I was the train driver.
That's actually interesting, since I really love trains. I genuinely adore trains. That's one of my fascinations, let's say.
Trains are also a fascination of mine as well.
Yeah,
I've actually worked on them, ran them. I don't say drive because they don't have a steering wheel. I ran them. I ran quite a few. In fact, my username is actually based off of a train. A locomotive to be technically correct. I've ran.
That's actually very interesting. But you mentioned you're under the same dev house. Did you also have you also created a company, like a proper company?
Well, so currently we just operate from a Roblox group, and I pay out Robux, so we're all technically self-employed.
Fair enough.
In the future, yeah, it's definitely possible to get a legitimate LLC set up. But
I was just curious because, especially in recent years, a lot of developers have started to set up their own companies, sort of their own businesses based around Roblox and branch out and what have you. It's quite something.
Right. I think for a while, like what we've been doing is we've just been a group of people that want to make these games, so we're tied together by that, but we're not legally tied together in many ways. Like me and Taylor, we don't even have a contract or anything. We're just word of mouth and
Worked
trust.
so far.
Yeah.
10 years, still working. Hopefully it works for another 90 years.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be 105, still on Roblox, and like, oh, what update did they bring out now that Roblox are working on?
What did they break now? Those whippersnappers.
Back when we were in college, Taylor used to joke, we're going to be 30 still on Roblox, and now we're 25, we're like, oh, shit.
It's approaching, guys. I'm not looking forward to it. I already feel old.
Oh, don't make me feel old. God damn it.
No, man.
Why is it that every single podcast I've done so far, somehow people make me feel old?
We're so young. We are so young in the grand scheme of things.
Tonight,
we're so young. We have so many years left, you know? Like...
Yeah, personally, I say that I'm 7 years old. Personally, that's my age.
Mental age.
Perhaps. I do have the belief that doesn't matter how old you grow in age, I always feel as if you should always remain a child at heart, because life gets really dull and really boring really fast if you can't take enjoyment in the little things, if you forget that whimsy of that child inside of yourself. So I just feel life that you should always have fun, have a blast.
That's also what people say to defend themselves from...
My mind says yes, but my body says no.
Oh no. Oh no. But you have been on Roblox for a really long time now. You have been on Roblox a little bit longer than I have. I'm curious, what in your recollection have been the most amazing Roblox events or moments or updates, and then the opposite of that, the worst ones?
Mesh importing.
Oh.
Absolutely mesh importing.
Okay, yes, that is a godsend for many people.
Yeah, obviously, besides from DevX, which influenced everyone to...
Well,
that created everything.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, obviously, everyone will obviously say DevX because that increases all the incentives.
Yeah.
But,
I feel like DevX literally redefined Roblox, because before that it was just viewed as a game, but now it can be viewed as a job or an occupation in many ways.
It basically, what DevX will allow is it allows you to keep chasing your childhood dreams of making cool games for people to play.
Yeah,
actually make a
Right,
living
let's
off of it.
keep chasing. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very awesome.
Yeah, aside from that,
Yeah. Besides from that, let's see. So events or features that were added.
The ability
No.
to make parts smaller.
yeah, just the most remarkable things that you can recall from Roblox's past that have really stuck with you. They can be anything from events to updates to anything that really has happened in Roblox or around it.
Well, for now, like what really I think GUIs actually,
Yeah. And lighting.
because I was around.
Oh, lighting! Oh god, I remember when they had a proper lighting. Holy crap.
Yeah, so I was around before GUIs were a thing. So all of the top games had to make do without, without buttons on the screen for players. And some people got around it by making a part be like a thing to click, because there were still click detectors. I remember A Pirate's Life by Lando.
Oh god, I played
that
that game. I played that game
Yeah.
long time ago. God, I loved it.
And I think that had a primitive UI thing, but I can't remember if UIs just came out when I played that. But I still remember something about that. I thought it was so cool that he put down the amount of points the player had somewhere besides the leaderboard itself. So I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
So now like every game can do that. It's great.
To be fair, Lando has always tried to innovate what Roblox is and what Roblox does. He has been one of those people to always aim
Push
for.
the engine
Yeah,
to its limits.
I feel like he's one of those people that actual motto of innovation in Roblox actually stands for, because I can't remember a single time when he didn't try to do something new with Roblox.
I really enjoy the hide and seek ones from him.
Oh yeah, god, those set their own genre.
I always like playing Build a Boat to Survive.
Yes, oh my god, that I actually made a build to survive a game once in my life, long time ago.
Nice, yeah.
That's basically how I started building Roblox first. Was just on that one game, just build a boat to survive or whatever, and it was just like a long course.
Yeah,
Straight to
same.
the
Yeah. Those were absolutely brilliant games. They were so stupid, but they were so fun and so like they were just so fun.
Yeah. One thing that
to survive McDonald's.
go ahead.
Oh no, I was finished. You can
Oh,
do
Okay.
One thing that really
Gotcha.
kind of blows my mind that it's so old is the body movers, the body objects.
Oh yeah.
They're
Yeah.
so ancient and they still work so well for most things that you want to do with them. So, like body gyro is great for rotating things. Body angular velocity is also great for rotating things. Just we don't use them to sink the Titanic, actually. Just so anyone who wants to try to make a sinking ship, I don't think that's the way to go. But they're really cool for smaller things, and I think that's really awesome that Roblox was first a physics sandbox, because I really think you've got to get the physics correct before you can make a game out of anything. So it's great how Roblox started as a physics platform, and now it's, as people have wanted to sell things, they've created T-shirts before 2012 when they added Game Passes. Maybe it's 2011, but yeah, VIP shirts. Like over 100,000 people were buying the VIP shirts of Titanic back in 2009, 2011. So it's just crazy how Roblox has. It's smart how Roblox has been able to see that and capitalize off of it, add Game Passes and add developer products, and then people can sell cool things in their game. I think it's just a natural progression, I think, and Roblox really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. I mean, people criticize Roblox for a lot of things because they do sometimes do something absolutely stupid, but I do think that there's a lot of positive things in Roblox, and they have done a myriad of positive things that have influenced both developers and the players in a positive way.
Yeah, I'm sometimes guilty
Sorry, you go.
I'm sometimes guilty of seeing the negative in things sometimes, and that will get the best of me on some days. So I really think the most Roblox thing though is positive. There's much more positive things on Roblox than negative things.
Yeah, yeah. So it is sometimes justified to concentrate on the negative, to be fair, because the only way you can ever fix something is by talking about it, pointing it out, making sure that it is acknowledged as a thing that could possibly be worked on.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too.
Yeah.
Because all of human history has been people complaining, and then some people complaining about those people complaining until the people complaining about those complaining are overthrown by the people who have complained. So I definitely see that. It could be pretty easy to get trapped in, toxic negativity, but it also is easy to just be toxically positive because everything's fine, but
it's all on fire.
It reminds you of the GIF. Oh, I'm fine with this. This is all fine. Everything's burning around me, but this is fine.
Yeah.
Sip, sip, sip.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's not a bug. It's a feature.
Right. So we've made a game that's very niche, but it also appeals to some popular culture stuff. So it's kind of in the middle. And I really think that the biggest thing that Roblox is going to have to get right next is this recommended AI sort that we were talking about earlier. They have to get game discovery better because there's so many people that want to make games on Roblox, but if the front page is only going to be showing if they're only going to be showing a couple tens of games, then there's so much more out there, and this one-size-fits-all games page is just not the way to go anymore. So I really think that Roblox is going to have to get that right to have a future with so many more developers, all making their passion projects. I see this awesome future like that.
Yeah, I mean that is definitely the future to strive for. But say if a new player came up to you, let's say an ambitious developer, what would be the advice you gave to this player? How should he or she get started with development or building or scripting or anything? What would be your advice? Both of you.
Jump right into it and don't give up.
For me, it would depend on what they need to know. What are they going to ask? Are they stuck on a scripting problem, or are they stuck on a motivation problem?
I mean, everyone's stuck with a motivation problem, but I mean, just someone looking to get started with development, just overall looking to get started, doesn't know how to get started.
Well, I think
doesn't matter if it's either a scripter or a builder, just in general.
I think it's with any kind of making things out of your own fruition, with any kind of entrepreneurship, as you could say, you have to find a pain point that you want to solve, and then that other people also want solved. That's the hard part. You have to look into what other people want. So I'd say don't lose touch of your own community, because it's really easy, and I've gotten stuck in it before. It's really easy to get stuck in especially if you have a Twitter, if you get stuck in this developer hive mind, so to speak, where developers will just all say these things to each other, and then they'll be like, they'll be self-conscious about their own developments. They won't publish anything because they're going to be worried about what someone else says. I'd say you just have to stay in your own community for a while. You can oscillate between the two if you want to, but you really just have to make sure your own community is satisfied with what you're doing. And you have to make sure that, because once you make a game based off of something, you're going to get a community based off of it if they find your game. So I would say advertising is also important. I wrote a developer forum post about how to maintain profitable game advertising, and that's up for free, and I give away a free spreadsheet for that. It's the dev forum post is called The Economic Guide to Profitable Game Advertising. If you want to look it up on the dev forum, it should be free for anyone to see without having a developer forum account. And so once you can maintain some Robux and put that into the system, get a little audience for your community, just make sure you keep in touch with that. And over time, I think another thing is, I don't know what I would do if I started Roblox today, because there's so many things to learn. I think you just have to take things one step at a time, because that's how probably pretty much all the developers today have done things. They've taken it one step at a time. They want to do something cool with humanoids, or they want to get really good at UI, or at least practical UI. they want to get really good at physics in the game, if they want to add physics. It's just, you have to take things one step at a time. You have to like look into making your own monetization modules.
Learn to walk before you run.
Yeah, that's a good way of simplifying that.
Yeah. I mean, it has always been a star advice to start small and then go big. That has always been the ringing advice in all of game design overall. So I guess that still rings true still now.
I mean, and be very, very patient too, because we've had the Titanic game out for 11 years now. Well, basically almost 11 years, so it doesn't happen overnight. The thing that happens overnight is it can be put onto a new algorithm that gets a lot more players at once. That's what happens overnight, but the work done doesn't happen. The work done and all the habits formed, that forms over time. So, and just I have several tens of games that don't have any players, and they were all made for learning experiences, really, like looking back at it. But at the time, it's like, of course you want to think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have cool people playing this, so I want to make it because I want people to play it like that. But then you maybe make a game to learn something new. For example, we were, for a long time, when Taylor built the original Titanic ship in 2011 that I was going to use, it had about 4,000 or 5,000 parts, and that was currently too much for the physics to handle. Back when Titanic worked with this physics apparatus, it had about...
He would physically drop the
I think I had
parts that would remove themselves.
I had about 150 parts that were like one stud thick or something like that, and they would remove one by one based off of a wait time, and then that wait time got less and less as the ship sunk faster and faster. And then there was a pivot point, which was just a block near the middle of the ship, and that miraculously held the ship in place most of the time. And then the crack in half part, it just removed a bunch of parts about a third of the way through the ship to simulate the cracking point.
Fully physics.
And that thing fell down onto another part where the stern would get caught by it. And then the bow would start falling because the last of the sinking parts would remove. And then the stern would start rising up as the pivot point removed, and then it's kind of slid down a slide. So, that was the way you had to do it back then, until people did more research into it, and we finally got in the new system that still works today.
Yeah, fair enough. A lot of hacky ways were done back then.
A lot of Roblox is just experimentation into hacky ways of doing things.
Like trying to make a jet engine out of duct tape.
So I would say...
we got a classical MacGyver here.
So I would say to these developers too, just start experimenting.
Yeah.
Just start throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, and where I was going with that other one was, as I was looking for new ways to sink the ship, I stumbled upon an idea where I was rotating this base plate part around, and I was like, it'd be kind of cool if people were on this thing, it was an obstacle course, you had to get to the other side before it completely tipped over and knocked you off. And then I was like, wait a second, why not just make this a cube? And then there was a cube world where there were things on the cube, and then it was being controlled. And I was like, wait, why not let someone control this cube? And then, so I made an entirely new game idea based off of trying to do something for the Titanic game. And that game became Cube Simulator, which helped me pay for a semester of college back in the day. And with paid access, it had about 50,000 paid access sales at the time in 2014. And then, sadly, I messed up the free-to-play release. And so it's still an idea in the back of our mind to try to make it into a reality, into a full-fledged game again. But
fair. I mean, all good ideas start with, oh, this sounds cool.
Right. And back in the day, it was reviewed by Max Bentley, who used to do Roblox game reviews by Max. And so it was reviewed on the official Roblox channel, along with about maybe 100 other games before Max moved on to starting his own video company in Atlanta, Georgia. So then this it was also featured on the blog post by Andrew Hayek, right? Back in the day when he worked for Roblox, he interviewed me for the blog post. So it was a pretty acclaimed game back in the day. So I hope it can rise back up.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember when blog posts and interviews like that happened fairly often. I remember those ages very well. Oh yeah, good times. But you did mention this once before, but how do you deal with motivation? Or the lack of?
I know that it will come in waves, as Taylor said before. It definitely will come in waves, so you have to just ride it out. But if you're really feeling down, there's been many months in my past where I would just play agar.io for hours and hours and hours and have no motivation whatsoever. But I slowly was able to wiggle my way back in to the motivation by fixing small bug fixes in Titanic. This is back in 2017. I would say I was in a very dark place at the time. So I went and I fixed very, very small bug fixes, and the motivation came when people were like, thanks for fixing that bug finally. And I'd be like, whoa, this is cool. I'm going to retrain my short-term dopamine fix for some of these very addicting video games, which definitely is a problem. And I'm going to retrain that dopamine fix to want to fix bugs and make more stuff and code more. And so as I was able to retrain those dopamine fixes, I was able to gain motivation back. And that's one major way that I gained some motivation back that I previously had. I guess the trick would be you need to have that motivation in the first place. I would say every person is born with natural motivation to do what their drive tells them they want to do. Like deep down, you just have to look for a few minutes, few hours, few days or whatever to find out what that drive is. And so our drive at Virtual Valley Games is to make intense simulation disaster games that show how awful life could be if you were actually put in these situations. And then so you can kind of lay back and relax as your real life isn't actually that bad in some cases, as people actually were on this ship that sank in the middle of the North Atlantic. That's just it's a tragedy. It's awful, but showcasing this history, you're able to live through it and get your own life experiences from that in ways that you wouldn't be able to, because in other ways, like as a video game, it's not exactly completely realistic. It's not exactly gonna kill you. Like the meme, if you die in this video game, you die in real life. You're able to see things in video games that you're not able to see in real life. That's, I think, the main point.
Yeah. That's an interesting motivation. That's a very noble way of going about it, I'd say.
I think I have very strange motivations sometimes.
Well, whatever works. But is there anything you specifically want to talk about that we haven't talked about yet? Either one of you.
No, I'm just, my mind is just, the blue screen 404 error. That's just me.
Windows has found an issue and must close. Fair enough. What about the last remaining person who has yet to shut down?
Oh, yeah, shut down. I don't know. I think I went pretty hard in that last monologue.
I mean, go ahead. I mean, that's the point of this.
Yeah.
To talk about your opinions, thoughts, and everything.
I'll talk about like the future of podcasts. I guess I think the podcasts are a really cool idea because personally, I go on a dog walk pretty much every day, and I'm always looking for something to listen to, and either the YouTube algorithm will feed me what it thinks I like, and then I'll get addicted to some kind of recommended video, and then that can either be bad or good. Like sometimes it's cool motivational stuff on YouTube. Sometimes it's like negative, the world is ending type stuff. So I think it's really good that there's I think it's really good that there's more Roblox developer podcasts coming up, because it's going to be very cool future if Roblox developers are able to share their knowledge in this way and showcase like different ideas that maybe have never been heard of or whatnot. So I think what you're doing and what other podcasts are going to start doing is really good, and I think that's good for the community.
Yeah. Well, I'm planning on taking it one step further. The point of this podcast, from my view, is to branch out, to have multiple communities, have the possibility to get on and talk about things. So have YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Roblox developers. I'm trying to kind of unite all communities in a way and have a chance to talk to them. I have a chance to listen to what they have to talk about. What is it on the other side in many ways?
Well, I like that. That's very noble too.
Thank you. Yes, I've always been interested in different things. I've always tried to branch out of everything. So I like tinkering around. Let's just say that. But yeah, I mean, now that we're slowly, I think, reaching the finale, I'll just ask some questions that either people DM'd me or for some reason just DM'd me.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, I like to end every podcast with some fan questions, let's call them, or just some random questions that I've seen or found or someone has sent to me.
That's a good thing.
Right. So first question is, to Amaze, how many people do you have working on any given one of your projects? And how to become one of the people working for you?
Basically many different people working on different projects, and I have an entire spreadsheet of who's working on what, and based off of that, like what people earn, and all of our pay is based off of percentages, with the exception of commissioning people that don't exactly work for only Virtual Valley Games. So we have basically we have 10 people on payroll right now, and so there's me, Inyo22, and Mr. Titanic44 that are the builders/scripters of Roblox Titanic. Falak is a composer for both games. We have Rizstone3, and he makes the website, and he actually works at Roblox. So I think that's kind of neat. And there's 3 Lives Taken, who is my youngest brother. He does the graphics for all the games, so like the icons and the icons in game as well. There's Centurix, and he is the main lead modeler of Britannic. Royal Constructor is the interior modeler of Britannic. Zazace is a new programmer who we hired in January, and he did things with Titanic and Britannic. He did the Britannic, many cool features with Titanic, like the waves of the funnels and the lifeboat ropes stain, and some roleplay points stuff and stuff like that. And then he's currently working with me on Game 3, so that's going to be exciting. And then
are you gonna maybe spoil something about Game 3?
Britannic. And basically, the Britannic guys came to me in 2017 and said, hey, we want to make a Britannic game with you. And I was like, all right, cool. So they made the model, and then I switched a lot of the code from Titanic into working with Britannic.
It was fun teaching them how to build the ship.
Yeah, and because they rebuilt it like 3 times before it was good to go. And with the code transferring, there's entirely new syncing equations, obviously, and a lot of research done on Britannic to make it
accurate,
at least true to itself as possible. And then, so I guess the question was, how many people are there working on any given game? There's about 10 on payroll, and then there's Mr. Gillett does trailers. He's a YouTuber. He does trailers for the games, and he actually makes a little bit off of Britannic because he got some a little bit of building help in there, and sound effects as well. And he's actually got sound effects for Game 3 as well, which is very, very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a clothing developer too who gets some commissions off of the clothing that he sells through the group store on the Roblox website. And
Okay.
That's all who are officially on Virtual Valley Games right now. We have a couple people who are in like a training program, but I'll leave their names out for privacy's sake.
Okay.
And so that's what's going on with Virtual Valley Games right now. Everyone makes a percentage, so that if the game company grows, everyone grows pretty much at the same rate, with depending on their percentage and what games are growing. I think that's a much more fair way to go about it than doing a like a payroll, like a thing where it's like a salary. I think that if the game grows to be super huge, I think everybody should be benefiting proportionally.
Yeah. Okay. But how does one get to work for you or work with you on your projects?
Well, they just... Grayson's better suited to answer this than me. I just build.
One sec. I got my my audio just disconnected somehow.
Oh, that's fine. All I just asked, how does one come to work for you or end up working with you?
Can you repeat that? My audio got disconnected, so I put on Taylor's headphones.
That's fine. Now the question is just that if someone wanted to work for you or with you, how could they succeed? How could they end up working for you or with you?
Everybody who's succeeded so far has shown what they're able to do, and then we slowly work them in and see their project through, and it all happens organically, except for we do have some contracts out right now, and that's due to like expediting the process, because building trust with everybody, while it's really good, just because these are commercially viable games, I would say now, it's very important to keep that trust somewhat binded as well. But everything happens pretty naturally. I get a lot of messages and people say they want to help, and most of the time I have to say like, we have pretty full positions right now, but some people are able to keep the persistence and show me what they're gonna do, and then I like that, so then I find a place for them.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, that's a pretty understandable way of going about it. Another question is, what's the third game?
Oh, the third game.
Third game.
Well, the third game is a...
No,
it's a secret. Oh, I thought you were gonna actually say it. Oh my god. Okay, it's a crashing experience.
It's a crashing experience. Okay. That's all I'm gonna get out of you is what I understand. Okay. God damn it! I told you, Ben. We should have brought the truth serum. Damn it!
You would just hypnotize them into getting every single information possible.
I'm gonna do a Jedi mind trick time. Let's go.
Game 3 is blank, 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 blank.
God damn it. Well, I tried.
Look, kid, I don't have much time. Game 3 is...
No, but in all seriousness, it's a game based off of a very classic genre of Roblox, I would say, that has never been done right, in my opinion.
It's a bit milk.
Oh. Well.
Alpha?
Don't say.
Well, now we have Twitter detectives and YouTube detectives that are going to be on the case.
Anyway, I think one of the most fun things is having a bunch of fans try to guess what it is.
I feel that's what's gonna happen after this podcast goes on.
Yeah, but
that was a big hint.
But in all seriousness, I think it really stays true to our previous simulations, and I think it brings in new quality in some areas, and I think it's going to be pretty great.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see it whenever it is at that point where it can be seen and tested.
Yes. I'm actually going to be testing it pretty soon.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll slide into your DMs then, don't worry.
I mean, you never want to say like, oh, it's going to be done this month, but I really think it's going to be done this month.
Like with my game, I keep saying it's gonna be released in a few days. I said that 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I said that a month ago. It's like every time when you have like everything planned out and like yeah we can do this, and then something happens and everything gets pushed to a later date. It's becoming a comedy routine.
There are so many things that have happened in the development of this game. It's insane.
I relate. Trust me, I relate.
Yeah.
I relate to you on such a high level that we could hug right now.
Yeah, I agree. And we started November 1st, like about 2 weeks after Britannic was released. I was on a high, and I was like, I want to make a new game now. Yeah, I told Taylor, it'll take 2 weeks. We got this.
I want to make the statement that my game has been in development hell for 2 years now. It was supposed to take 5 months at longest.
Right. Yeah. Well,
but now it's 2 years.
Taylor, what's that quote from Yamato or whatever? Who is it?
Oh, you mean Miyamoto, the guy who made Nintendo? That basically a rush game is like forever bad, but a delayed game is eventually good.
Yes.
Yeah. So
though a delayed game could always be bad as well. If it gets delayed too long, it might be bad.
Then you get into vaporware at that point.
So I hope we're staying true to the delayed game is eventually good part of that.
Well, we can hope, and I believe that you can make a good game. I have confidence in your capabilities, both of you as a builder and a scripter. So I'm sure it's gonna turn out good.
Yeah, best of luck.
But yeah, I guess we can start ending. Does anyone have any last words you wanna say? The ending words.
Keep on keeping on.
I say, keep up doing the podcast, and I hope you get some other cool developers to join in.
Hopefully I will.
And keep making games too.
Yes, that is something I will probably try to keep doing.
The amount of times me and Mole have tried to make a game but ditched it like a week
Yeah,
later.
how many games do we have had? Five games?
Multiple.
Five? I think it's 5 games, isn't it? 5 games.
Yeah,
It's 5 games. It's 5 games.
around that.
Yeah, me and Taylor played Crumble just the other, before we came on the podcast.
Oh,
It was
I had to
fun.
rage.
you didn't play Crumble Alpha. Wait, you didn't play Crumble Alpha, did you?
I don't know. We played one game and I rage quit. No, I'm just kidding.
God damn it, you played Crumble Alpha. Fuck! No, I'm gonna show you the proper beta version that we're working on right now. I'm gonna give you a slight sneak peek.
Sweet.
The alpha.
I'm looking forward to that.
Alpha was a bad version. We don't talk about alpha. Alpha can
Okay.
die. I have
First
to.
rule of Breakout Alpha is we don't talk about Breakout Alpha.
Yeah, the thing about Crumble Alpha was when we were working on it, when we were doing it, it was very early in the development, and our Roblox admin noticed it and offered a feature spot when the feature sort was still a thing, and we agreed, obviously. And he gave us a deadline. It was like a month. We had a month of time. So I was like, okay, let's take it easy. Let's chill. Let's take our time with this. And then the next day, around, I think it was 9 p.m., when the same admin said, okay, the deadline has been moved. It's now tomorrow. So we were like, okay, panic time. Okay. So we stayed up till 6:54 a.m. just trying to scramble together a functioning version to release. And that's Crumble Alpha. That till this day, I have mixed feelings about the game. On the other hand, it gave me it was one of the reasons why I am at the spot that I am. But on the other hand, I fucking hate it.
Well,
So
It just kind of
make learning.
happens, so you just let it slide.
Learning experience. I hate a lot of my previous creations.
Yes, I'll show Pete a beta to both of you after this podcast. That's something I have to now rectify.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's it. Everyone, I'll throw your social links and other links down in the description and into the comments, so everyone can go and check out your work and follow you on Twitter and what have you.
That's awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on to the podcast. It was great to have you here. Absolutely pleasant to talk to you both.
Same to you.
Really nice experience.
Yeah.
Good times were had by all.
Good times.
They were the best of times. They were the
Worst of times.
It's been a while since I saw Star Trek 3.
Oh, bloody hell, you need that memory. The Star Trek was an interesting movie. But that's it. That's if you want to follow my stuff, go follow me on Twitter. That's where I post everything. Don't forget to like and subscribe on this video because you know it shows that you love me. And see you all next time.
Bye bye.
Goodbye, everyone.